Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our Let's Play of Algerian Alpha Centauri, the mods for Civ5, Brave New World. Now, yes, you will notice that it's been a long time since I did my last update, and the reason why it's I've been a little bit sick. Thankfully, my voice is back. I no longer have any voice problems. No longer, the coughing is mostly gone. And by the way, one thing you should know: this episode is this entire session really. It's a 3-hour session, which includes like 4 episodes and so forth. It's gonna be a voiceover recording because for some reason my the recording program, decided to suddenly stop to disable my microphone. So I spent 3 hours talking and nothing was recorded of my voice. So I'm gonna have to do the voiceover all over again. So there's gonna be a few spoilers here and there. You'll find me making a lot of predictions for like the next 4 or 5 episodes. So try to forgive me for that. Well, there's no really other solution, and I've been procrastinating constantly the releasing this particular video because I wasn't really very satisfied with it. But yeah, I just have to do it eventually because I want to move on to something else. Nevertheless, let's enjoy it for what it is. And as you can see here, we were trying to build up an army to attack Bretonians. Our target city is going to be Mousillon here. You can see because it has Petra, and you can see all these. You saw back then all of these hills. They had +1 production, +1 food. Clearly, he had the Petra there, and we wanted to do it. But of course we need the artillery before we do that. If you've seen my previous Let's Plays, you will notice that I'm not very comfortable on the offensive, especially when I'm playing against strongly defensive nations like my neighbors, or nations who had better armies than I do. So I really need the artillery. Of course we want to reveal some more strategic resources, and we might actually try to build the Louvre eventually. But yeah, the artillery is absolutely important, especially if you want to attack them and capture a few cities. One thing I am worried about a little bit is Bucharest here. You will see it. Right now we have only 1 cannon actually, which we can upgrade eventually. But I am a little bit worried about Bucharest because it's too close to my borders, and for some reason the game decided to spawn me surrounded by these powerful nations and lots of city-states. Especially considering that I am not playing a city-state game. But thankfully Bucharest was allied with the ogres at this time. Although this might change in the future, you never know. They might actually become allied with the Bretonians, which can give us a little bit of trouble, and we're gonna have to capture that city all over again. Just have to attack it. And by then, we actually did manage to produce a couple of artillery and cannons and all that stuff. Because cannons, they're not going to be enough, really. I mean, cannons, they can easily be destroyed in 1 hit or 2 hits by the Bucharest. You can see their defense points. Each city, Bucharest has 57 defense points. Strangely enough, Mousillon actually has only 35 defense points, which is much less than all of my cities, pretty much, and less than the city-states. But the city-state is right in front of me, and there's no avoiding it. We have to capture it first before we move on to Mousillon. Unless we can like make a peace deal, sign a peace deal somehow, and steal some of his cities or something like that. You never know. Anyways, we're gonna start building the barracks here because the city will be our. Surprisingly, the capital was actually our main army production facility. I wasn't really expecting that. I was hoping we could build more wonders here, but apparently the city doesn't really have that much production. We were forced to use the engineers multiple times. But you can see here, one more problem we have is that I'm not really capable of relying on the specialists because we don't have enough population. We actually have very low population. We're surrounded by fungus, and yeah, the city is just not growing fast enough. Right now we only have 3 food per turn. We're gonna be growing in 4 turns, but yeah, that's not really enough. In order to use specialists, I think you need to have like a very large population at least. Like, you could use specialists in order to prevent your population from growing too fast, but I preferred just to maximize growth because we need a lot of science. We're having severe science problems. You can see here very slow. It takes 21 turns to 18 turns to research some of these technologies. Yeah, that's just not good enough. So yeah, we've spent most of the game actually stealing technologies. If you've seen the previous episodes, we've been stealing from the ogres hardcore. We stored like I think we managed to steal like 9 or 10 technologies from it's insane. We stole like I think we will steal some more even now from the dwarves as well, and we'll gain more spies as time goes on. And now we're just trying to improve our economy, trying to get some science going in any way we can. I've spent most of the time, most of the previous turns, building a lot of all these production buildings like the factories. Okay, well this city doesn't have a factory, but we will be building more factories as time goes on. Seaports, of course, quite important, quite useful, since it turns out we have a lot of coastal cities. I was hoping to play a more land-based game, but for some reason I found myself playing probably because of the limited expansions. There are very limited locations for us to build new cities. So I found myself hugging the coastline. Most of my cities were all over the coast. So yeah, let's little industry, a moderate amount of food, really, but yeah, it's just the production problem was kind of, yeah, it was getting a bit of, it was quite problematic, and we had to build a couple of factories and focus on production in the early game. Alright, so for some reason these guys are banning tobacco and cultural heritage sites. Yeah, this one is a problem, especially considering that, you know, Alp Arslan, the Seljuks, they don't really have that many wonders. We only have 3, as you can see, 75 points from wonders. Yeah, 75 points from wonders means we built 3, because 25 for each wonder. The Seljuks built 4, as you can see, from 100. These guys 180. Wait, these are... okay, this one's a 0. I can see what the... yeah, 300 for the dwarves. They built like, I think... how many was that? Like 12? 12 wonders or something like that? It's quite insane. 12 or 16? I don't actually know how to calculate that. Anyways, yeah. It's 25 per wonder, basically. That's how it goes. 150 for Kiergo, the... I forgot what that race was yeah, the Elsewhere, the cat people from the Elder Scrolls. I forgot the name. What was the name? What was the name of the people? Oh God, I just forgot the name of the race. Forgive me. I'm usually quite interested in the Elder Scrolls, but this time memory is not serving me very well. Especially during the voiceover, I'm forced to speak quickly and think of trying to remember what exactly I was doing. I mean, you might say, we're supposed to... okay, I'm not going to declare war on anyone, just go away. Alright. Anyways, you might be thinking, well, you should have written a script or something. I don't like reading from a script, honestly. It's not uncomfortable for me. It feels cheesy. It feels like too planned. I prefer my comments to come out naturally. Anyways, so yeah. Right, so I'm not sick anymore. I don't have any voice problems, but my AC went down. It's just broke down all of a sudden, and it's getting hot right now. It's the worst timing for that kind of thing, especially now. I'm living in Dubai, basically, and you know it gets really hot in the summer, extremely hot actually. It's kind of, well, okay in the winter, but man, is it hot right now? I am sweating. I try to open the window, it gets worse. Jeez, okay. So apparently these two, the policies, I think one of them failed, the other one passed. I think, yeah, the cultural heritage sites actually passed, while the banning of luxury resource was failed this time around, which is good. We don't need to ban any of those stuff. Yeah. So yeah, the cultural heritage sites kind of a problem, because I didn't build a lot of wonders. I'm going to try to build more. Unfortunately, this will give the dwarves a huge advantage, and they are already running away with the game. They have a crap load of culture. I mean, you will see eventually at some point. I remember actually talking about this in this session. The dwarves were actually they were pretty much number one in everything. They were number one in everything, and the problem with this map, the Alpha Centauri map, is that it's extremely unbalanced. You know, Centaur nations will start in certain locations, and the starting locations are pretty much preset. They are. For example, there's always going to be a nation in this area here. There's always going to be a nation in a jungle, and there's only one jungle in the entire map. And the jungle, of course, as we have mentioned before, is overpowered. Some nations are more likely to start next to the mountains and such. But for this map in particular, all the starting locations are static. They don't change with the map itself, you know, because the map itself is static. It's preset. It's not a randomly generated map, really. I mean, it has some random features here and there, but... Alright, so this guy is actually trying to insult me. They really hate me because we have been stealing technologies from them, of course. The Oaken Kingdoms have denounced the dwarves. Good, actually, they are mutual enemies, it appears, and they're actually going to try to denounce me eventually. Wow, they have a lot of luxuries. Look at that. They pretty much have everything we already have, and they're making like maybe 10. How much? Yeah, that's like 4 times our gold, approximately. Yeah, that's almost 4 times the gold we're making. So yeah, they pretty much ran away with the game. And I'm going to be honest, the reason why I have not been making too many updates for this game, besides, you know, the health issues and all that, but really I was feeling rather uncomfortable and with the game itself, not very pessimistic about it, and kind of depressed. Like everything I do, it just backfires. I constantly keep losing. Well, I wasn't losing any cities or stuff like that. I didn't lose a single unit actually from the start, but I wasn't doing very well. There wasn't anything in particular we were doing well at, except for the religion and the tourism, as we have seen earlier. Yeah, 42 tourism, we're still the highest right now, but eventually the people of Elsewhere, eventually, they will actually catch up with us, and yeah, that's gotta be a huge worry for me. So yeah, even I was hoping perhaps we could do well in culture, perhaps try to win some kind of culture victory, which is, even though it's looking extremely unlikely, especially since we can barely compete with the other nations who are not focusing on culture. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. We could try to upgrade our troops though. Yeah, I mean, at some point in this session, we will eventually start making a lot of gold, and we could start upgrading. But for now, I'm gonna save some gold in order to buy buildings in the new cities, or at least in the weaker cities. One thing I like to do, I'm not sure if that's actually a good thing or not. I like to buy production buildings in the new cities, so that they can build other things faster eventually. I'm not sure if that's a good strategy or not. I'm pretty sure there's really good players out there who would say no, that's not a good thing. But you know, it works for me, and we will get the. Alright, let's exchange some hawkers with pearls there. Mostly sea resources. For some, oddly enough, they're not making a lot of gold, these guys, but they have a quite powerful army. Maybe it's because they have such a powerful army that they're actually having such a large upkeep. But yeah, look at the dwarves, man. They have so many great people. They have engineers. They have these artists, and yeah, they just popped that artist and they turned it into a great work. And I'm pretty sure they probably gonna use the great engineer to build a wonder eventually. They're seriously incredibly strong. Well, we do have an engineer though. We're gonna save them up in order to build a wonder. You know, normally in other games I wouldn't do that. You've seen in previous games I was not really using these. I was mostly using these engineers in order to prop up the great tiles, you know, the manufactories, so I can actually improve the overall production of the city. Let's steal something. Let's see, scientific theory. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, this will improve our science. We could start building public schools. There we go. So yeah, what was I saying? Well, okay, I'm gonna try to focus on the game now. I'm actually talking about random things. Yes, we're stealing. It's gonna take 8 turns to acquire technology, but for some reason we are stealing technologies much faster from the ogres, the Gold-Tooth tribe, the city of Gold-Tooth tribe, basically much faster than the dwarves. Maybe the dwarves have some kind of constabulary or anti-intelligence building or something like that. So maybe that's actually holding us back. So we will try to steal this technology, but then I might actually try to move the spy into another city or indeed another nation entirely. Although overall, we might actually send them as a diplomat instead, because we do want to increase our tourism. But unfortunately, I made that decision much later than now, so I'm not sure how effective that will be. So yeah, we're making pretty decent amount of gold so far. We could start burning all these carpentries and the stoneworks. And I think the carpentry is slightly better because it opens up the workshop. You actually have to build the carpentry before the workshop because of the Civ Advanced mod, which adds all these new buildings. And of course the tax collector and all these. Yeah, so we bought that one. Sorry. So yeah, so this is a border city. We built it on top of a gems deposit. So being a border city, it means we pretty much need to build a couple of walls and such, just to make sure it's well protected. Because as we have seen previously, the Bretonnians actually have quite a bit of airships. We've seen multiple airships over time. We want attacked by airship at some point. There's actually a plundered farm. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's right at the far right. Yeah, see that plundered farm. We haven't actually managed to get a worker there. I will get a worker there eventually in order to fix it and actually start improving the city of Annaba on the far right. Peace treaty expired. We got a musician there, which is good. Alright, so we're not making too much science. Oh yeah, so apparently our science increased because we just completed the observatory. It increased by 7 science per turn. I was expecting like 9 or something like that, but yeah, it's fine. Oh, we can't believe that we can't actually produce a great work because we don't have an opera house. Oh yeah, it's actually gonna. We will obtain an opera house in 4 turns in the city of Constantine. This will fix our problems, hopefully. And we're just gonna build more farms here, just to make sure all cities keep growing. I don't know if the trading posts are actually good enough, but really, we don't have enough culture income in order to actually acquire all of these. The policies that will increase the bonus from the trading post. Although I probably should have done that much earlier, but I was so discouraged by our lack of science that I decided to not go for the full rationalism, full commerce policies. Instead, just focus on random stuff. I was just completely unfocused. I should have planned this a bit more carefully. Yeah. But nevertheless, we're gonna try to leave an impression somehow. And don't worry, by the way. By the end of the session, we did manage to capture a city. Yes, it's a bit of a spoiler, but I just want to make sure you guys, don't worry about it. It's gonna get slightly better eventually. We did manage to capture a city from the Bretonnians, and this might actually help our economy a little bit, increase our culture and tourism just a little bit. But because remember, the more cities we have, the more religious buildings we can build, and the more tourism from each religious building we can acquire, and we can build 2 of them. And by the way, if the city we managed to capture, we can even build a monastery there, because it's apparently it is the religious building of the Bretonnian religion. So yeah, we basically we can get 6 tourism from that city, 3 religious buildings all at once, from our religion and theirs. We can combine them all together. Of course, we still have to convert it eventually. We could use an inquisitor or something like that. I constantly keep getting these war suggestions, but I don't want to declare war on anyone really, especially all these nations are far away. If anybody suggests declaring war on this guy here, I forgot his name, Luan of the Bretonnians, that would be nice. He's actually proposing accept embassy, which is fine. Alright, we can do that. What else? Yeah, you can see here he has a lot of luxuries, a lot of resources. It's incredible. Compared to our start, we have barely like maybe 4 or 5, and he had like a bunch of, look at this, he has at least like 5 luxury resources. All we had was mostly strategic resources, a couple of fish and stuff. Alright, so it's time to complete this road, I think, or we could just move this guy out, start building some farms. Oh yeah, we want to repair that farm and actually connect the coal. Yeah, the ebony is actually quite important. We're going to establish a trade route. We're going to try to establish a trade route with the Chaos Nation across the sea. Because the more trade routes we have with other nations, the more tourism we will give to them. Yeah, it's like 25% more tourism with each. Alright, it's time to build a factory here, I think. I would have preferred to buy it, but for some reason I decided to just go ahead and build it. Alright, we're just going to keep sending trade routes to previous cities. This time it's Thalmor Embassy. I would have preferred to start sending, let's go for the other cities. Like the actual nations, the major nations, instead of the minor nations, the city-states. Okay, he has a few reservations about my warmongering, which is unusual because pretty much everyone is at war in this game. Everyone is declaring war, so he's gonna be pissed off at everyone, I suppose. It's kind of weird. So I prefer sending to the dwarves because they don't have a religion yet, and they're closer to us, so it's like we're less likely to actually get plundered by pirates and all that. And you can see here, yes, 25% for open borders, 25% for trade routes between us. We don't have any trade routes with elsewhere, so I would like to send a trade route with them. Yeah, let's do that. I think it's a good idea. There we go. I don't remember what exactly I did, so I'm just guessing, and thankfully the guess turned out to be correct. Alright. So what do I want to build here? Opera House. Yeah, let's go with the Opera House, just in case we get another great musician and all that. It's gonna take 3 turns before we pop that up. We can't build any more. We can't build any. Yeah, we will acquire the Louvre in 4 turns, I think. But before we build the Louvre, we need the exploration tree. So yeah, again, it's another, hopefully not too bad of a decision, but it's pretty much a forced decision. If we want to compete, stay competitive in culture, stay on top when it comes to culture, we're gonna need to get the exploration. Just unlock the policy tree. We're not gonna get all the other stuff. Even though +3 production in every coastal city is quite attractive, considering that we have pretty much all of my cities except 2 are coastal. We have like these 2 here, the capital, and I'm trying to remember how many exactly we have. I think we have 5 coastal cities in total, and the 2 inland cities. Actually, that's not quite effective, because if we do end up capturing cities from the Bretonnians, the Bretonnian cities, they're not really coastal, except for the capital. We just met Akavir, and you can see here, our exploration is just terrible. I think I sent like one caravel or something. I should probably build more, but believe it or not, I actually forgot to build more caravels for the rest of this session. I probably should have done that. In my previous games, I tried building the airships, I think, but the airships got sort of bugged out. Every time I tell them to auto-explore, they start going back and forth in the middle of the shallow seas, instead of actually going out and revealing the fog of war. So yeah, it was really annoying. And if you see my previous Let's Play with the Inuit, yeah, it was an extremely annoying problem. Constantly have to micromanage them, tell them to go explore there. They basically just start wandering around the fog of war, instead of actually exploring through the fog of war, which is really stupid. So we're gonna ignore that for now. I was hoping to test if it's possible to actually build a Xar, which is the unique citadel that we can build in order to grab some tiles from these from the enemies. Apparently, the Dey here, you can see here the unique general of the Algerians. It can build the Xar outside friendly territory. So I was hoping to test if it's possible to actually build one in enemy territory, especially if you are in the middle of a war with them. That would be incredibly powerful. But once again, if you build that guy, if you build that one Qasar there, it's not going to be very useful for the rest of the game. It's basically going to be useful just in capturing the city or at least eliminating some units. Alright, our Khan has declared war on Alp Arslan. Looks like the Chaos Nation has declared war on the Seljuks. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of warmongering there. So I'm happy to know that I'm not the only warmonger. So yeah, Mousillon is going to be very important because it has the Petra. We do need that. Surprisingly, the city of Mousillon has only 8 population. I was expecting a little bit more, considering that it has the Petra. And usually, the Petra cities end up becoming really strong, especially if they have a lot of deserts around them. Alright, we're gonna fix that farm. There's another farm there, I think. Now, I would like to build. What was I trying to build here? Yeah, a mine, because the city of Belida has very little production. We do want to connect that coal. Yeah, as soon as I'm done fixing that farm, I will actually connect that coal, which means we could build one more factory. Yeah, I'm gonna try to build factories in every city because there's an actual policy in order, and I think we have chosen order. Yes, we have chosen the order ideology. We and the dwarves currently share the order ideology, which is quite good. It means we're gonna be allies and friends for the rest of the game, probably, as long as they don't notice that I'm actually stealing technology from them. Which they don't, by the way. As far as I can tell, they're not going to notice. And anyway, we're not going to be able to steal too much from them because apparently their cities are very well protected. They have very strong counter-intelligence measures. What do we want to build now? The forge is actually pretty good because this is a kind of a border city. Yeah, the Constantine here. Which will increase the rate at which we build land units. Especially, what we want at this point is a bunch of cannons and musketmen, really. That's really all we need. The cannons, or at least the artillery, once we upgrade them into artillery, yeah, we need at least like 4 or 5. Usually I have 4, but 5 is actually pretty good because we will be trying to capture multiple cities at the same time. Bucharest and Mousillon, as we have seen before. Let's build a couple of, the standard buildings here. Just fill up all the buildings. The sooner we build all the standard buildings in this city, the sooner we can actually start making more military units. But right now I want to maximize my bank, build a bank to maximize my gold income. Although I would have preferred to start building right now, but for some reason I postponed that again. Well, the forge might actually increase my production eventually. And apparently in this mod here, the Civ Advanced mod, the Hungarian dances, Johann Brahm. Alright, sounds familiar. Anyways, so yeah, apparently in this mod, the forge will also affect your aluminum. If you have aluminum, it will also gain +1 production. So it's not just for the iron, the aluminum as well, which is quite nice. And believe it or not, we still have this spearman. We're in turn 311 and we still have a spearman. I had so little gold in the early game that I wasn't able to actually upgrade this guy. And furthermore, we don't really need to upgrade him, if you think about it. Like, why would I? I'm going to be relying mostly on musketmen. This guy is just sitting in the city. He's just garrisoned there in order to take advantage of the policy we acquired from the honor tree. Yeah, that's really all it is. Oh, those bastards, they're actually gonna... Okay, I'm not sure if you've seen that. Okay, we have discovered a bunch of antiquity sites. Let's see. So there's one there. Oh my god, yeah, see, that's what I was saying. They're actually gonna try to steal this from me. Oh, god damn it. Okay, the dwarves, they're... Okay, this is quite annoying. I think they did manage to steal it, but it didn't really go away. Yeah, that's a bit of a spoiler, but when it first happened, I was really pissed off. That they're actually going to send this and try to steal it from me. I would have preferred to complain to them, tell them, dude, just back off. This is mine. This is my loot. This is my... I want to build a bunch of... what is it called? The landmarks? Okay, so we have 3 apparently, but for some reason we received a bunch of notifications. What's up with that? Why did we receive 2 notifications for each location? Maybe it's because we have 2 of them on each? I don't understand. Yeah, it's exactly 2 for each. It's so bizarre. Maybe it's because it means that you can actually extract an artifact from it, and then you can actually build a landmark on top of it. Like do 2 things in the same location. I'm not sure. because eventually, when the dwarves steal that artifact from me, the antiquity site remains. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe it's that, like, two artifacts, two antiquity sites on top of each other. I'm not sure. It's never happened to me before. Most other games I played, it happens only once, and that's it, as far as I can tell. So there's these two here. I would have liked to, like, build a city in that corner, but that's counterproductive. Well, why would I do that? Maybe if we can actually build an ocean city or something. I don't think we have that ability right now. Or maybe we do. I'm gonna have to check that out eventually. I mean, I did build a settler at some point, and I tried to settle on an island to the north, which we will see eventually. Travels have told us that your empire's economy is in pretty bad shape. If you beg a little, I might actually give you a hand. Well, this guy's starting to piss me off, actually. I might actually eventually try to capture his cities after I'm done with the Bretonians, because they're a bit closer to me. Now look at this, plus 100 tourism. That is pathetic. They're really trying to push their tourism on me, but that's just impossible. I have way too much culture. Probably more than anyone else. Yeah, at this point I was actually starting to get angry at the dwarves. I was thinking, oh god, if you end up stealing this from me, I'm gonna declare war on you on that. Well, that's just stupid. There's no way I'm gonna be able to declare war on the dwarves, considering that they're really powerful and they're too far away. I'm not gonna declare war for just that archaeologist. That would be really unthinkable, you know. Alright, let's build a mine over that hill. I think that will be a good time for it. Kino Tsurayuki. Alright, so now I would have preferred to go for the right political treaties here, and I did. Okay, because apparently I wanted to rush the exploration. I think it's the exploration I was trying to get. Yeah, I wanted to build that Louvre wonder. It's kind of strange. Why would the Louvre be in exploration? It's like, do you expect people who go for who are trying to win a cultural victory to be very strong in exploration? That's not necessarily true. Exploration is supposed to be for, like, navy games and such, which is not always useful, especially if you're playing in Pangea. Alright, I'm trying to figure out if somebody had built the Louvre previously. I don't think anyone had built the Louvre. Yeah, we managed to build it eventually, yes. Spoiler again. But yeah, so I was just trying to double check to see if someone else built the Louvre. The Big Ben actually was available to me at this point, but I did not grab commerce, and I was, you know, I probably should have went for the Big Ben if now that you think about it. It will allow me to build things a little bit faster, just, you know, buy a bunch of buildings. I think it makes everything bought cheaper. But I was going pedantic with the culture tourism thing, so I just, you know, screw it, I'm just gonna go with the Louvre this time around. Yeah, I chose exploration, unfortunately, yeah. So yeah, in retrospect, that was probably not a good decision, but hey, the Louvre, why not? It's a pretty attractive wonder, if you think about it. There we go. I think it's going to be ready next turn. Yes, let's connect the coal. And I think next turn we don't have anything else to do. Yes, of course, open borders. At this point in the game, everyone's starting asking me for open borders, which I will gladly accept. I mean, I have more tourism than they do, so yeah, I'm always going to get the better deal out of that one. And apparently everyone was trying to get friendly with me, except for, of course, the ogres, because I stole things from them. Let's see, who else? Holy crap, look at that. The dwarves actually built a city right there. What the hell? And they managed to actually obliterate the antiquity site. Like, what's going on? Why would they do that? That was counterproductive. That is probably the worst location for them to build a city. But hey, thankfully, they're actually spreading my religion. I mean, look at that. There's a city here of Karak Norn. It's spreading my religion quite successfully, I might add. Eventually, this will spread my religion towards the west. Sorry, yeah. Okay, we built the Louvre. We have the great artist. I should probably exploit him right away. Yeah, I was still pissed off at the archaeologist, but yeah, forget it. He's not gonna do anything to us. Let's get the. I was thinking the electricity, because rifling is actually quite easy to get. It's not that difficult. Electricity, on the other hand, revealing aluminum, increase our production. Allow us to build the hydro plants. We have 2 rivers. I think we should be able to build that. Let's do that. We have only 1 aluminum? Really? Yeah, the game is really stingy with these strategic resources. Not only is there very few of them, but also there's like 1 resource in each deposit. There's like 1 stalream, as you can see, 1 iron on each deposit. Yeah, for some reason the Alpha Centauri map very stingy with its resource deposits. And you're gonna have to rely on the special buildings from Civ Advanced in order to actually get strategic resources. Yeah, we actually got lucky that we had so much coal, Other nations still unable to actually acquire an ideology. Whoa, 69 turns for stealing technology. That is too much. I think at some point I decide to change my mind and remove that. Remove the spy. We're friendly with all these guys. We actually have hit a higher score. So yeah, you can see the score here. The scores are very unbalanced. There's too many highs, too many lows, which indicates how unbalanced the map is. Yeah, usually the scores are more closer to each other, it indicates a more equal opportunity game. But right now the dwarves are pretty much dominating everything. They are way ahead of everyone else, and there's nothing I could have done about it except try to build more wonders to deny them all that power. But why would I? On higher difficulties, that is really difficult. And even though I'm playing on king, that's the terrible part. I'm playing on king, and it's supposed to be a little bit easier, I suppose. But yeah. Having an unbalanced empire, I guess, it really depends on where an unbalanced map depends on where you start, and you are pretty much forced to declare war. All right, so we just told them that the dwarves are hatching a plot against them. All right, so that's done over with. Even though they're unlikely to be my friends, I think at this point I was starting to consider moving the spy elsewhere. But I should probably just check to make sure who else has higher technology than me, because at this point I think, in 3rd place at technology. And the ogres were actually not too far ahead of me. Yeah, so it's kind of unfortunate that the dwarves, who have such high technology, take such a long time for us to steal from them. Maybe I should try stealing from another city entirely, I don't know. Anyways, we can build the hydro plants now, which will turn the city into a powerhouse. First of all, we need to count exactly how many rivers how many river tiles we have, so that we can maximize the benefit from that. Because, okay, we only have 2 cities with the rivers, as you can see. The capital and what's that city name? Oran, I think. Yeah, Oran, that's it. Which is Wahran in Arabic. All right. So how many river tiles we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have 9 there. I think we have 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the mountain is actually a river tile as well, so that's 8. And furthermore, here in Algeria we don't have a lot of fungus near the river, so that's a bigger benefit overall. Whereas in Oran there is way too much fungus, and we even have that castle blocking the way. So yeah, well, you can see all this fungus. It's really annoying. We're gonna ignore Wahran for now. We're gonna go for Algeria here. This is the one where we're gonna build the hydro plant, because as you can see, we only have 1 aluminum and we just used it. So yeah, we want to make sure we have maximum benefit. What else? So we don't have any culture the theme bonuses, I think they're called. Yeah, no theming bonuses yet, because we don't have any artifacts. We don't have any antiquity artifacts or anything like that. We mostly have paintings, as you can see there. Eventually we will get the museums, I think. I think it's time to start building the museums. Alright. Most of these are like cathedrals and all that. Yeah. So these are both from 3rd era. This one is 2nd era. So once I would like to make sure that we have as many of these 3rd era great works as possible, because we can actually combine them together in the museums and get a theming bonus. Yeah, we should make sure. I think this is going to be another 3rd era painting, because we are currently in the 3rd era. Dawood receives a robe of honor from Mun'im Khan. Okay, here an end. Never heard of that. I think he's a Persian, probably a Persian artist. Yeah, that's probably it. It sounds like a Persian name, I suppose. Could be an Indian name though. Okay, yeah, let's build the farm there. We do have that aluminum. I actually didn't notice there was an aluminum up there. Okay, so they're catching up to me. You can see here, I'm trying my best to maintain high culture, despite my religion or everything, but still, they're really catching up to me quite fast. These are both 2nd era, 3rd era. Yeah, so we gained another 3rd era painting, I suppose. If we can gain a 4th one, this means we can fill up 2 museums, which is totally worth it. It's totally worth it, yeah. So this city has 98 gold income. A stock exchange there would have been useful, but at this point I want to try to focus more on, military and all that. And I do want to increase my culture at some point, yeah, because we need more space for the great works. I think I should probably go for the trade company and the stock exchange. I don't remember exactly what I chose. The trade company is actually cheap, only gonna take 5 turns. The seaport will also improve the Crimson Nern route, I think. increase the production there. That would have been useful. Yeah, I don't remember what did I go for. The castle, okay, because we don't want to increase great general income. Okay, that's fine. That's actually okay, I suppose, but it's not going to be very useful. It's going to take a really long time to get that. I would have preferred to prioritize the seaport and the what was it called? The stock exchange. Yeah. Because this city, let's face it, this city is not meant for production. Doesn't have that much of a high production. There is so much fungus there, it can barely grow properly. And we finally actually managed to upgrade that guy. We need horses to upgrade the Lancer. I don't think we'll ever acquire horses. We might actually end up destroying these pikemen and replacing them with a bunch of musketmen. That's really what I want to do eventually. Yeah, because we will never be able to actually upgrade them. We don't have any horses whatsoever. And I don't really want to, in the industrial era, start trading with other nations for horses. That is silly. Why would I do that? I prefer it if you have something else. He doesn't have anything else. I'm actually going to stop this exchange. Yeah, this guy really drew the short end of the stick. He also started in a bad location just like me. But unfortunately for him, he did not get lucky with the religion. So, he actually has the lowest score. I was hoping to find someone to exchange with. The dwarves have 2 silk. The ogres have like 2 soft drinks and 2 citrus, which is called apples in this game. But I still can't exchange with them because they really hate me. And the dwarves, they don't have anything that I don't have anything that they need, like some kind of luxury they don't have. They pretty much have all luxuries, which is unfair. It's really annoying. Yeah, let's build more farms there. We don't need to connect trade routes. We don't need to build roads between the Jelfa and Anaba, I think, because they have like plains between them. We don't need the roads between them, really. Yeah, so the troops can move just fine. Mindworm attack. This is going to be a problem when it comes to actually attacking the enemy. And I think it also affects the siege units as well. Yeah, we need to avoid the mindworms. Mindworm attack, by the way, in this map, every time you stand on a fungus,